Have you ever wondered who has the authority to make laws or punish people who break them? When we think of power in the United States, we usually think of the president, but he does not act alone, and which is good. In fact, he is the only one piece of the power puzzle. When the American Revolution ended in 1783, the United States government was in a state of change. The founding fathers knew that they did not want to establish another country that was ruled by a king, so the discussions were centered on having a strong and a fair national government that protected freedoms and did not abuse its power. When the new constitution was adopted in 1787, the structure of the infant government of the United States called for three separate branches, each with their own powers and a system of checks and balances. This would ensure that no one branch would ever become too powerful because of the other branches, and the other branches would be able to check the power by the other two. These branches work together to run the country and set guidelines for all the people in the US to live by. The legislative branch is described in Article 1 of the US Constitution. Many people feel that the founding fathers put this branch in the document first because they thought it was the most important. In fact, the branch is comprised of 100 U.S. senators and 435 members in the U.S. House of Representatives. This is better known as the U.S. Congress. Making laws is the primary function of this branch, but it is also responsible for approving federal judges and and passing the national budget and even declaring war. Each state gets two senators and some number of representatives, depending on how many live in that state. The executive branch is described in Article 2 of the Constitution. The leaders of this branch of government are the president and the vice president, who are responsible for enforcing the laws that the Congress sets forth. The president works closely with a group of advisors known as the cabinet. These appointed helpers assist the president in making important decisions within their area of expertise, such as defense, treasury, and homeland security. The executive branch also appoints government officials. They command the armed forces and meet with the leaders of other nations to foster good relationships. All that combined is a lot of work for a lot of people. In fact, the executive branch employs over 4 million people to get everything done. The third brand of the US government is the judicial branch, and it is detailed in Article 3. This branch is comprised of all the courts in the land, from the federal district courts to the US Supreme Court. These courts interpret the nation's laws and punish those who break them. The highest court, which you may know, the Supreme Court, settles disputes among states, hears appeals from state and federal courts, and determines if federal laws are constitutional. There are nine justices on the Supreme Court, and unlike any other job in the government, Supreme Court justices are appointed for life or for as long as they want to stay. Our democracy depends, meaning the democracy in US depends on an informed citizenry. So it is the citizen's duty to know how it works and what authority each branch of government has over its citizens. Besides voting, chances are that sometime in your life you'll be called upon to participate in your government, whether it is to serve as a jury, testify in court, or petition your congressperson to pass or defeat an idea for a law. So, by knowing these branches and who runs them and how they work together, you become an involved, informed, and intelligent citizen.